Joining us now is the Kilkee native Jane Dundon, mum-to-be, who's been reflecting on the power of female storytelling after seeing Hamnet. Of course, the exciting times ahead for Jessie Buckley, who has been nominated for an Oscar for her role in that film alongside her fellow Irish star Paul Mescal. It's a poignant moment for Jane as she prepares to welcome her first child, connecting the intensity of Jessie Buckley's role with the excitement, love and vulnerability of impending motherhood. So to share her thoughts on the film and her journey into motherhood, I'm joined now by Jane Dundon. Jane, lovely to speak with you. Thanks for being with us.
Hi Alan, it's lovely to be invited on. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
And before we get your thoughts on Hamnet, which I'm keen to hear because I haven't seen it yet, so your review, my attendance at film will depend on how glowing your review is. Tell us a bit about yourself. You're originally from Kilkee, but I believe now living in Dublin.
Sure, yeah. My mum and all my family are from Kilkee, and so I'm living in Dublin now, in Phibsborough, for probably the last 10 years or so, but get down to Kilkee at every chance I can get. So yeah, I live up here with my husband and my dog, and yeah, baby to be. But yeah, definitely find myself getting to the west and the seaside as much as I can.
Yeah, nice to get down here. A bit of a change of pace from Dublin. And that poor dog, the attention that's paid to it is going to drop a little bit, I think, in very soon.
I know, I'm very conscious of that. She's definitely sensing something's up, I think.
So talk to us then about Hamnet, which obviously, given it's only out a while, you've seen quite recently.
Sure.
And you've been reflecting on Jessie Buckley's role in it. Talk to us about her role in Hamnet, which clearly must be excellent, given she's been nominated for an Oscar. But what stayed with you the most after watching it?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I won't give any spoilers, Alan. I know you haven't seen it and a lot of people might not have. But look, she's absolutely extraordinary in the film. And I kind of went into it determined not to let it get to me. Look, it's just a movie. I'd heard lots of the reviews, and I was also conscious that I was expecting and that there was some kind of, gruesome elements to it. But I found myself just afterwards, I got home, got into bed and was just wide awake after the movie and kind of started writing a stream of consciousness at about 2 a.m. My 24-week-old baby-to-be was kicking around in my belly and I just couldn't switch off because of how much her performance had impacted me. And I can't really remember the last time a film did that it just kind of was left physically sitting with me for hours later. She's just genuinely so spellbinding in the film. And as I said, kind of went in determined to not let it get to me, but I just found a few minutes in I had no emotional agency whatsoever and surrendered to it. It just really didn't feel like you were watching a performance. It felt like being inside someone's grief and someone's love at the same time. And for me, as a first-time mum-to-be, it just hit me somewhere very primal. It made me feel kind of equal parts pride and excitement about how much my world is going to change, but also a sense of terror, I guess, of that scale of love and vulnerability of it and how all-consuming it's going to be. And I've never felt that kind of level of performance in a film. And Jessie Buckley is just incredible. So I found myself spewing a stream of consciousness, as I said, in the middle of the night, which I shared with my mum afterwards. And I should have known with her, the world she works in and some journalist friends, that she would end up passing it on. And that's how I've ended up speaking with you today. So thank you again for having me on.
No, we're only too delighted to have you on, Jane. And I think that speaks to, I did say my attendance at the film of seeing Hamnet would depend on your review. And I can't think of any films that have had me up, mulling them over, certainly at that hour, the wee hours. That really speaks to, I guess, the film. But as you say, it's in particular Jessie Buckley's role. And I know you don't want to give away too many spoilers, but the film, as you've touched on, rooted in grief, love, and it particularly resonates with you because it touches on motherhood and, for you, impending motherhood. Mm-hmm. How differently did it resonate with you knowing you were about to welcome your first child? And what did Jessie's performance or some of the themes around motherhood that are touched on in Hamnet, did it make you aware of anything that you might expect to come with being a mother, albeit in a real world and in a very different time period?
For sure. I guess what kind of struck me and I realised afterwards was it wasn't just the story, it was the world, you know, of the film that just felt very female-centred. Of course, Paul Mescal is great too, but I just feel like everyone kind of pales in comparison to her and her story. And it's directed by a woman, it's led by a woman, it's about motherhood, mother nature, mother's love. There's something very kind of mystical and female about the whole thing, and just really powerful. So I just found it very immersive in kind of female energy, and right now that felt to me quite therapeutic. I think, look, personally at the moment, I find the real world a little bit exhausting at time, and just very, you know, dominated by honestly male egos at times. And I know, Alan, you're one of the good ones.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I hope you're not comparing me to some of the we don't even need to say who you're talking about, male egos that are dominating the headlines at the moment.
No, exactly. So I just think on a global level, and just even in daily encounters, sometimes there's just an assumption of kind of who holds the power and authority. So it was lovely to escape into a world where that absolutely wasn't the case. And yes, the film is devastating and crushing in parts, but I left with the feeling of feeling kind of strangely fortified by it all. And I think that theme of just female resilience and adaptability reminded me that, you know, power doesn't always look loud or dominant, and sometimes it just looks patient and nurturing, and a sense of endurance. So I kind of left with, while I was very glad that I hadn't worn mascara and was in tears, I left with a real sense of kind of strength afterwards as well. That's really sat with me since, and again, that is just down to the performance that Jessie Buckley gives in this film. It's just incredible.
And in your piece, you did speak about the vulnerability, Jane, that comes with impending motherhood. And when you're about to be a mother for the first time, you can do as much preparation as you want, reading up various books and guides and speaking to your own mum and other maybe friends or colleagues who are mothers. But did Hamnet tap into emotions you weren't expecting, that hadn't been flagged up for you, that you weren't aware would come?
Yeah, I think so. I think it gave me a sense of reassurance of, I guess, just the kind of the natural thing that takes over. I'm kind of reassured by the fact that I'll just figure it out and I'll kind of know what to do. And I think that love that is so different that you hear people speak about, but I guess I won't really know until I have my baby. But just that kind of all-consuming, unconditional love will somehow steer me in a way of knowing what to do. And there's a real I don't know, kind of like some other forces going on, I think, when you become a parent, that the film brought out for me. So, I think that's kind of the feeling.
And some of those feelings that or emotions it tapped into or maybe highlighted for you, Jane, were they fears or excitement about what lies ahead? Did they trouble you, or did they make you even more excited to become a mother, or was it a mixture of both?
A mixture of both, I think. I was excited. It made me excited because I just think I'm going to be good at it, I hope. And I'm excited to feel that love and that sense of, I guess, responsibility in this world, and just something that's so much bigger than anything I will have done to date, or my job that can sometimes really stress me out and take over my life. I don't know, it just kind of gives you a whole new perspective. But I'd also be a bit of a worrier, and I think that sense of, oh God, I'm going to love something so much, am I going to spend the rest of my life just worrying about it, which probably is the reality of parents, but it's so outweighed by all of the joys and I think, love and excitement and laughs that there will be along the way.
And of course, this being Ireland, Jane, the country where if you don't know someone, you know someone who knows someone. There is a connection between you and Hamnet, and that isn't just, and Jessie Buckley, that doesn't just mean that you went to see the film, because your mother once shared a house with Jessie Buckley's mum.
Exactly. It's so funny. Ireland is so small. My mum and dad actually both met working in Bunratty and the Pogue back in the 80s. And Jessie Buckley's mum, Marina, worked with them both. And my mum shared a house with her for a little while. So they would have known each other very well back in the day. So it's it's funny, Ireland is so small.
Yeah, it's not even 6 degrees of separation. I think there's maybe 1 degree of separation. I take it then, focusing on purely the Oscar side of things, that I don't know how many of the other performances from the other actresses in the same category as Jessie that you perhaps have seen, but you feel that she will fully deserve the Oscar should she win it?
Oh, for sure. I was saying I have to watch the others now just for a fair comparison, but I just haven't seen any performance like that in a film in years, so I would be so surprised if there's anyone else more deserving this year. And obviously just wishing her and her family all the best. It's so exciting to have such amazing Irish talent kind of represented on that global stage. So yeah, in my eyes, there's no one more deserving of the award.
Okay, you've won me over. I'm going to go see Hamnet. I'm not even a mum to be, and I still really want to see it on the back of what you've been saying. And if there are any other expectant mums out there, Jane, listening to Morning Focus, who might find films like Hamnet unexpectedly powerful, what would you say to them, given your experience of seeing it, and then thinking it over and putting down on page what you were feeling?
Yeah, look, I think these things are so subjective, of course, but from my perspective, I would say go and see it. I was hesitant to go, just thinking, oh God, do I need to be watching something sad during this time? But I think it's absolutely worth the watch, and I think lean into it, feel all of the emotions. Sometimes we don't really let ourselves go there, and I definitely try not to. So I just think sometimes it's really nice to escape into another world and just let something take over you, should it have that impact on you.
Okay, well, definitely looking forward to seeing it now, and we wish you the very best with the arrival of your imminent bundle of joy, and hopefully motherhood treats you well. And thank you so much, Jane, for joining us.
Thank you very
much.